This is my deck profile for No Hand Water. I'm playing 3 Takata. This guy is pretty much the engine of the deck. He gets you all your jutsus, which you can activate from the chakra area. So all of these right here. This one you can activate from the chakra no matter what. These other 7 you can activate from the chakra if you have no hand. And he just searches them all out and puts them in your chakra. So he's the best card in the entire deck. I have 3 make out tactics to search him out, 2 Simba the Rogue Ninja, 2 Toby so that I can go through my deck faster and find them. And of course I have these other missions that, well, actually these 2 will help me search them out if I don't draw them by turn 2. But yeah, that's what you want to see on the first turn every single time. This guy right here allows me to activate his effect on the first turn. A lot of people think that because it's no hand water, you can just charge from your hand anytime you want and it's not going to hurt you because you want your hand in the chakra in the first place. But the thing is, you do want to have a hand at the start of the game because of the missions. You want to be able to pay hand costs for missions, and then some of the jutsus, basically you want to hang on to the jutsus early in the game because you don't have no hand yet. So like if you open with one of these 3, you're going to want to keep these in hand. You don't want to charge them for hand costs for missions. So your hand does actually matter early in the game. So you do want to keep that. And then there's like Yuya that has a hand cost at turn 2. So this guy's really great. He gives you a chakra on the first turn, and then you can start using the Takata right away instead of waiting for turn 1 till you play this. Yeah, so, and then, I mean, getting a free chakra is really good, always. So Takata is amazing. Kadashi is amazing. So yeah, that's 3 of my drops, right? 0 drops. Here's another 5 basically. I mean, he's a client, but he searches out a 0 drop, so this counts towards my 0 drops. These guys are freaking amazing. This guy makes everybody with an interest cost of 3 or less battling against him use its original stats. So one of the decks that I played against that was really strong was Hikaru. They have a giant tiger which gains +1/+1 for every animal ninja you have on your side of the field. And because of the client, he was summoning a lot. Like, he was summoning 2 animals per turn basically. So that guy was really big. He was like 8 attack on like turn 2. So having this really helped against stuff like that. It helps against growth. When they growth the ninja, it still has to use its original stats. So it comes in handy quite a bit. This is the better one out of the 2. This one makes your water ninjas and his team unaffected by your opponent's ninjas with a printed interest cost of 2 or less. So I mean, there's a lot of ninja effects out there that will do, like for example, if your opponent has a Choji, you know, when it goes out to battle on a pose, you can give it damage to turn 0 with that Choji. And if you have with Takata and the team with him, then he's protected. So yeah, Rummer is one of the best 0 drops for water. Either one is really good. Back in the day, this was really great against the Shikamaru that got banned. Shio, one of the most amazing 0 drops in this deck. Only run 1 because she's Earth. If she was water, man, because you can use her with this cutting. She flips both players, the card on both players' decks face up. So you play with the top card of your deck revealed. And then if you have 2 cards or less in your hand, you can activate it. If it has a water symbol, you can activate it as if it was in your hand. You're not allowed to deploy ninjas with this because Bandai made that ruling. But you can play missions, jutsus, clients with their effect. And if you have Shiho on the field, and say like Jirobo is being revealed from top of the deck, you can't do anything with that. But if you have a mission in hand, you could just activate Shiho, put your draw this, put this on top of the deck, then activate it with Karin's effect. So I mean, she pluses a lot. And then on top of that, you can use her with Toby. This Toby says you call ninja mission or jutsu, and if you call it right, you can charge that card, and then you charge a card from your discard pile to your chakra as well. So it gives you 2 chakra every turn. If you have cutting, which lets you see what's on top of the deck so you know what to call, or if you have Shiho so you can just stack your deck, you're going to get this right every single time. And with this being no hand water, I mean, all your jutsus you can activate, or almost all your jutsus you can activate from chakra. So, and then your ninjas have ambush. So he pluses a lot. Especially if they like waste jutsu, killing one of your ninjas that has ambush. They use up their jutsus killing him, and then you just activate Toby, bring him back. So, yeah, he's amazing. I play. Oh yeah, so there's more 0-drops. The last 2 0-drops are Jirobo. He's really good because he can go into this guy on turn 6. It says turn 4, but it's an errata. He's a 6-drop. I mean, be able to transform a 0 into something this big with a really great effect. I mean, when he attacks, you discard a chakra from your opponent, and then during the mission, the jutsu, exchange jutsu or mission phase, you can charge the top card of your deck after you use that effect. So, yeah, that's 11 0-drops. I like to play 12 when I can, minimum 10, just to have the deck be consistent and not miss my 0-drop. I don't like playing more than 2 copies of any 0-drop usually, because your hand can get a little cloggy, and you don't want to drop 2 Takatas and miss your drop, because you can't play 2 Takatas at the same time. But he's just that broken that it was worth playing 3, and these are just that good as well that it's worth taking the risk. But the thing is, this deck has a lot of turn 1s that can search a drop. That's the only reason I'm not so worried about it, because if I do draw doubles and don't have a 1-drop, I can just search it out. So the deck is just very consistent. There's 13 missions in the deck, and that makes it run very consistently. And it allows you to build up all your chakra, because these jutsus can get expensive. I mean, this costs 3 water to use, and you can use them over and over again from your chakra, because like I said, you can activate them from your chakra if you have no hand, so you could just keep reusing it over and over again. So you want to have a lot of chakras so you can do that. So for the 1-drops, 2 cutting, or 2 of this cutting, I mentioned why that one's good. And then I play one of this one's the better one in general, but I really want to play one of these because against certain decks this isn't that good. Like if you're playing a rush deck, sometimes she's not really doing anything, but bringing this out is just, I mean, incredible, because if you're playing against a rush deck, you can only chump block so many times, because you block once and your ninja gets injured, then you block again and it dies, right, normally. But if you have Karin, you could just keep blocking over and over again with the same ninja. And then you can clash with your opponent's team if they have the same power, and their ninja will get injured and yours will get injured, but then you just heal yours. So I mean, she's really, really good against fast decks that just have strong early game. So that's why I play her. Against those particular decks, I'll play her over her. I mean, healing late game is good too, if you want to heal one of your big ninjas, but mostly she's there just for the fast decks, like if you're playing a Naruto versus Sasuke deck, something like that. This guy, obviously, is amazing. He searches out a mission, any mission you need. Mainly he's there so I can search this out, so I can get my Utakata if I don't already have them. I mean, I generally have them on turn 0, if not turn 1. But in the event that I'm unlucky, then I just use him to search this out and then play Utakata turn 2. So yeah, he's very important just in case you don't get Utakata out by turn 1. Utakata is just the best in this deck. Kidomaru, he's really good because he can make a turn 1 or lower standby. So if you're playing against, for example, mental power, if your opponent has a flexibility out, you can make a standby so it won't be mental power anymore. And then on top of that, you can negate jutsu by making the user standby. So if you're playing against a deck that's trying to rush you, and because some decks will play a lot of early game jutsu, like what's it called, that one that makes you flip a coin. If it's heads, the ninja goes to chakra. If it's tails, it goes back to the owner's hand. Yeah, stuff like that. So you don't want to get rushed, because your negates, you can't use them until turn 3. So this is really why he's there. It's just I have some kind of early game. So for early game, I have him, and then I have this and this. And really, this is only necessary against decks that try to rush early game. Against most decks, you're fine. You don't have to worry about it at all. I usually don't play him. But if I'm playing against a really fast deck, I got this stuff. And then 2-drop to Yuya. When a mission is activated, you can discard the top card of your deck and discard one of your opponent's chakra. This is amazing because it discards a card from your opponent's chakra every turn on your turn, and then on their turn if they play mission, they have to discard one every time. So you're discarding 2 cards from the chakra per turn basically with this. I mean, there's a reason why it has a hand cost, even though it's only a 2-drop. It's just really, really broken. And then it can go into this Tayuya, which is really good against specific decks. I was playing against Killer B deck, and he was using Killer B to get his chakra back. But once I played this, he couldn't activate Killer B's effect really, because if he did, he'd have to pay 1. This makes your opponent pay an additional 1 to activate any of their ninja effects. So it made Killer B useless, and Killer B was really the only chance he had of surviving, because I was getting rid of all his chakra. So I mean, once I went into that, and then also it has mastery, which is really good sometimes. Suigetsu, this guy is the best turn 3. The only reason I only played 2 is because I don't have a third. I had a third, I lost it. I don't know where it is right now, so I'm just playing 2 for now. Yeah, at the start of your turn, if you have no hand, you draw an extra card. So every turn you're drawing 2 with this, and that allows you to play your mission cards because you know they all have hand cost. Toby just for regenerating chakra, and then Seikon is only there because of the Ukon Seikon squad. This deck doesn't have snipe jutsus to get rid of your opponent's annoying ninjas that are just, you know, staying at standby so you can't use your jutsus on them. So for those type of situations, I have this. You pay 2 water, select one of your opponent's ninjas. Then when he attacks, he has to block him. That ninja has to block him by itself. It gets removed from the team. So yeah, this is basically like a continuous snipe. It's really, really good. I have a lot of 3-drops already though, so I'm just playing 1. I don't really have trouble seeing my 1-ofs in this deck just because I have 13 missions in the deck. So there's just so much draw power. I mean, this card is permanent 3, and you know, you look at the top 2 cards of your deck and move a water card to your chakra, and he has ambush. Almost every ninja I have has ambush, so this is letting you look through 2 cards every turn for 3 turns. So I mean, you pretty much see everything you need to, even if you only have 1 copy of it. Still, I run 2 of him just again for the squad, because but this guy is really good. Like, even if you're not going to go into the squad, I mean, being able to special summon another sound 4 ninja. When you play him, you can special another sound ninja from the chakra area. So if you're playing against a really fast deck that was killing off your ninjas early in the game, you can just rebuild your field by getting 2 ninjas for 1. So like, you can get that, you can get Tayuya, you can get Seikon. It's just really good. Yeah, that's the 4s and the 3s. I normally play more high drops, but because of the consistency of this deck, I see all my, you know, 1-ofs already, so I just don't need to play a lot of copies of my cards to see them. 1 Sasuke, because he's limited to 1. Right. He turns this Shidori into a counter for Jutsu, because whenever one of my opponent's ninjas is injured or receives damage, it goes to chakra instead. So if I activate this, which injures one of my opponent's ninjas, it just goes to chakra instead of getting injured. So the jutsu it was using will fizzle out. So when you have Sasuke on the field, you basically have 7 negates in your chakra area, because this changes the effect of your opponent's jutsu to injure the user. So it turns her jutsu against them. This moves a ninja battling against the user to the chakra area. And of course, these move a ninja battling against the user to the chakra as well when you have him. So yeah, this deck has a lot of control. Yeah, he's just amazing. And this is my last ninja. It's another target for the Karashi client that I play. So and then this guy is freaking amazing because when he attacks, you target one of your opponents turn 1 or lower and move it to the chakra area. Most people underestimate him because they think, okay, it's only going to hit a 1-drop, it's not going to hit anything big. But most decks have 1-drops or lower that are main parts of the deck. For example, this deck has Utakata, who's just the best card in the entire deck. And I mean, Jirobo turns into a giant beast on turn 6 as well. So if your opponent has this, you can just get rid of it before they have a chance to transform into this. So I mean, don't underestimate the 1-drops and lower. I mean, Karin is amazing 1-drop. I mean, yeah, he just gets rid of really great cards. Like, for example, one of the most powerful cards this gets rid of is Gara and Tamari, so they don't make their platoon. It happens all the time. They'll have both their Gara and Tamari on the field, and then I'll just get rid of one, so next turn they don't have them both to summon the platoon. And at that point, they don't even want to bother deploying it again because, I mean, they have to give up their 5-drop in order to play a 0-drop, so this pretty much stops them from playing the platoon. Gets rid of Mabui, Bartender Cat. So, I mean, pretty much every deck's going to have something, a 1-drop that's really, really good. Shikamaru, for example, if you're playing against Earth, this guy is ridiculous. And then also it allows you to rush. And when you're playing against something like Naruto versus Sasuke, like that kind of deck, a lot of times they kill off your small ninjas earlier in the game because you're forced to block with them so you don't die, and they have you at a lot of battery wards. And then you bring this guy out and you start you know, getting rid of their 1-drop and lower, so that way they can't rush you so much anymore because they're losing 2 ninjas every turn, the one that they're chump blocking with plus the one that he's killing off. So I mean, it stops your opponent from being able to just attack with 3 teams every turn to try to get through to your life. He's just really great. And yeah, I explained these jutsus. Yeah, this is for early game. You target 1 back ninja battling against the user, and the target's power and mental power cannot be added to the team during the showdown this turn. And you can use this from your chakra even if you have a hand. So early in the game, I use the Takata to get this, and then I can just get rid of their back ninja's support. It's really good. And if I have Ramura on the field, which makes them use their original stats, this doesn't make their stats 0. It just says that their stats cannot be added to the team, so it doesn't have a problem working with this. And then Fierce Current Jutsu, of course. This card is amazing. Just for 1 water chakra, you can get rid of a 0-drop. It's just too good. Makes the user unaffected by jutsus for the turn. I wanted to have something for early game, so that's why I'm playing those. And then even late game, you can still use this because if you have Shiho and Karin, you just stack this on top of your deck, and then Karin allows you to activate it from top of the deck. So even though you have no hand, you can still use it late game. Make out tactics, of course, and Symbol of the Rogue Ninja, just so I can get with Takata every game, or whatever else I want to get. Friendship from Sorrow. Look at the top 3 cards of your deck. Move 1 to chakra, move 1 to your hand, and then move 1 to the discard pile. And this card is really important in the deck, actually. Oh, and it's also another target for Takata because it has an effect on the chakra. So Takata just does everything. But this is very important in the deck because there's decks that have really powerful clients or permanent missions. Like, for example, when you're playing against Hikaru, well, that card's going to get banned anyways because you can use it to bring out Pakun every single turn, which allows you to negate every single mission your opponent plays. I didn't realize that, so I didn't put it on the ban list, but whatever, you know, any client that gives you a problem, you can banish this and another card in your chakra area to discard a non-ninja in-play card. So yeah, this is going to get rid of a lot of annoying things. I used it against like what's it called, that one mission, that counter mission that negates your effect and changes your effect to you cannot use jutsus with specific symbols. I used it against that a lot. So yeah, it's really fucking good. I mentioned that one already. This is incredible. This is like the most powerful mission in the deck. So you move 4 cards from with the water symbol from your discard pile to your chakra area. So you're playing with Takata every turn, activating this effect every turn. So you're gonna build up a graveyard, and then you just activate this, and you get 4 chakra plus the hand cost in this. So you just gain 6 chakra all at once. I mean, 6 chakra, that's a lot. And I mean, normally it's bad for cards that don't like add cards to your hand, because then it's a -2. But since this is no hand water, it's really like a +2 because you're getting 4 cards out of it. They'll go to your chakra, and they're going to have ambush or be able to activate from the chakra. So yeah, that's the main deck. And then for the extra deck, Seikon and Ukon, the Yuya, the Jerobos. Oh yeah, I didn't play Kimimaro. And then Sasuke. So yeah. And then side deck, I played 3 Kurenai, which says during the exchange jutsu, during your opponent's turn, you can discard a card and put this card in play. That's the cost. And then the effect is your opponent cannot win battle rewards during this turn. Then if your turn marker is less than 4, remove this ninja from the game. So yeah, when you're playing against a deck like Naruto versus Sasuke, they activate their mission card, and instead of getting a bunch of battle rewards from it that turn, they pretty much got nothing out of it if you play this. So I was supposed to side this against Naruto Sasuke in the tournament, but and then these two because I can negate the mission, but I forgot the side deck. So yeah, I was screwed. There's nothing I can do against that deck with just the main deck. But this card is permanent 3, and then it says each time your opponent would win 1 or more battle rewards, that number reduce that number by 1. So if they would win 2, they win 1. If they would win 1 battle reward, they would win 0. So this is really good against Naruto Sasuke to stop them from getting battle rewards, and this to negate the mission Naruto versus Sasuke. This is in there for just any annoying mission. So yeah, just anything that's strong. And like my deck is no hand water, so I couldn't play the counter missions that you activated from your hand during your opponent's turn. So I had to play this one because it's a permanent, so you can just put it on the field. You don't have to hang on to it in your hand, and just use it whenever you want to. This guy, if you have no hand, you can move one of your opponent's in-play non-ninja cards to the discard pile. So this was there in case my opponent was playing anything annoying, any permanent missions or clients that were annoying. I used it against Hikaru. I used it against something else. I forgot what else. Yeah, he's really good. And then this for ninja effects. During your turn, you can target one of your opponent's ninjas or clients. In that case, the effect text of the selected ninja or client is negated during this turn. I use this against Kiba a lot. The Kiba that says when it's sent out to battle, your opponent cannot, or players cannot activate jutsu. I just negate his effect and attack with 3 teams, and they, you know, if they block, I can just use Shidori and injure everybody. So they couldn't do anything against that. This guy was amazing. So yeah, that's it. If you guys want to see more deck profiles, subscribe and like the video, and I'll try to post more deck profiles out there. And yeah, let me know what you think of it.